not get any less.
Oh, I know, because Christina said to me she's the creator, and that resonated with me as well because I'm a creator as well of my book. And the writer told me that, hey, making a comic is stressful, but going live and then ask people to back your book and promote your book the whole time, that is even more stressful from beginning to the end. I mean, when we started the project, I said, okay, let's see what happens, and we go there. Then COVID hit, unfortunately, and then the art is coming in, and the story is getting completed, and it's going to the editor and such. And he said, you know what, the story is 100% completed. The editor give it a go. Now we have to wait for the art. So the art is coming little by little. It's getting completed, but then it's very excited to bring your project to life, what you have in your head, and then see it on paper. So that's actually great.
Yeah, it's a lovely thing when you start getting the work in from the artist, and you're actually able to see your story come to life.
Right.
I think for us, or for me anyway, that's the most exciting part, when I'm able to see a scene which I love reading about in the book, and then I actually see it come to life. So it's very sensational.
Yeah, and it's also weird because you have maybe some characters in your head that look like in your head like this, and then you see it on paper, and it's, oh wait, this is way much better. It's way more cool or something. Yeah. How is that with you, Niriam? I mean, you were doing a project here as well. Maybe you can talk about that. Do you exchange some bits about that or not?
Well, our project is quite a bit different. We already had a small chat about it.
Yeah.
So mostly there's a big difference in portraying the werewolves. That's the first thing, and also maybe the setting. And another fact that you have actually people that are helping you. That's really nice to have such kind of support that you have a team that you work with, and these people give you some insight, and it's really nice. And I kind of miss that because I actually wrote and started drawing it all by myself, and yeah, I would really use a PR man myself. So
yeah.
So you're a model here. So Miriam, you're doing all of the work yourself, are you? Are you doing all the artwork as well?
Yeah. I wrote a story. I started writing it as a literature, but people told me that my writing wasn't really good and I should get back to drawing. So I decided to redraw the story in a form of a comic.
Cool. So where did, because obviously I think you've been talking to Christina a little bit about your project, but I haven't heard anything about it. So what is your story, and what are you doing with yours?
I was talking with Christina about wet pet stories of werewolves. It's a kind of action romance drama, I would say. It's called Bones, and the title, I think it expresses the most because it's like a coming of age of a story of a girl who wants to become an alpha in a world where women don't get such privileges. So she must work hard, and each step she makes, there are many obstacles, and how to put it, it's focusing mostly on the relationships that are building along the way, and the relationship in a meaning of friendships and love relationships, and maybe sibling relationships. That's the strongest one I'm focusing on. And maybe new friends, new enemies, new allies. So probably that's it. It's difficult to explain, but we were talking with Christina that every good story should be put under 30 words, and that's what you need to do, and that's difficult to do. So yeah, it's a werewolf romance story. It's a lot of action.
Yeah, sounds great. It does sound absolutely fantastic. It sounds really interesting. It sounds like there's lots of interesting stories and interesting points which are really, really relevant today all around the world. I mean, as much as the world likes to say it, women still are not equal, and so anything that can be done to kind of bring that forward and try to promote equality, I think, is a great thing. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's difficult. I really didn't mean to point it out in a way that in this feminist kind of way, but rather in a way that I mean, I'm a woman writer, and it's easier for me to build a main character based on what I know. So probably if I was a guy, it would be easier for me to write a man. So that's the main point. So.
No, totally understand that. Totally understand that.
Yeah, but we talk that
you have like editors or something say, "Oh, so were you meaning all of this information from this character?" No, I mean that character's a female because it's easier for me to write.
Yeah. It's well, it's difficult, but I made it easier because each character I have, I kind of based on a person I know. So it's easier to imagine how the person reacts, and it's more realistic.
Yeah. So I was reading your first volume, and I sent it also to Miriam and to Jeroen, called Base Marine. Jeroen, you have had you the chance to read the comic, because you said you just came from work, right?
Yes, that I've had a very busy work schedule the last few weeks, but I did get the time to squeeze it in. So yes, I did read it.
Okay, good, because there's some stuff to talk about. So for maybe just a question for you two here. Where did you come up with the idea? What was the creation process? It's not like you woke up and say, "Hey, let's make a comic about werewolves." So.
Okay. Well, in my case, I actually started writing a book, because this comic is based on a book that I published. So it was only published in Spanish like 2016. But I actually started writing a novel about vampires first. And while I was working on that, it was by the time of like Twilight and all of that. So it was a bit bad timing, but anyway, I started that first. And while I was working on that, I had the idea of the werewolves, and decided to start posting those online in a blog. And I just wrote like chapters every week. I uploaded that chapter, and I just started getting readers really interested and asking me for more chapters. So I was just like, oh, this is a good way of getting public and readers. So that I have an audience when I publish the vampires book, which I did in 2012. But while I was writing that, I just started seeing that people were really interested in the werewolf stories. So I thought I have to publish this one as well. So that's pretty much how it started. I also remember having a dream about werewolves after watching, I think, was Dog Soldiers.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know it.
The movie, you mean, or the book?
The movie.
Yes, with the werewolves. I get it. Yeah.
I watched that, and I think it stuck in my mind, and with all those creepy werewolves there, and
big.
Yeah, they're huge.
Yeah.
So after watching that, I dreamt all of that, and I was like, I like that, but they are creepy and all that. But I always like my stories to be realistic. And I thought the whole process of the transformation and half human, half wolf didn't really work for me. I mean, it works in other movies, but for my book it didn't. So I decided to change it a bit and make it urban fantasy, but have them, instead of turn into a wolf, just have a wolf companion that they are so linked to and they can mentally control. That's where everything started.
Yeah, because when I thought, werewolves, and then, like you said, transformation, I said, hey, wait a minute, she's still here, her body is here, but there's a wolf over there. and attacking someone or fleeing from someone and then, hey, how does that work? So there's maybe a psychic connection between the human and the wolf, the Amarok. Is that how you say it? The Amarok?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I got that from the Inuit mythology. It's like the spirit of a wolf. So
Right.
I got the name, and then I just started developing the rest of it.
Cool. And is it then that they can transform their personality or their mind into any wolf, or is there a specific wolf?
It's just their own wolf. The wolf kind of finds them at some point during their lives, usually when they are a baby or just a kid. And then from then on, they just kind of link together and they stay together for the rest of their life. So they can only control mentally that wolf that is linked to them, but they also have like the abilities, and they have enhanced senses, and they share some of the abilities that a normal wolf will have. So their sight is better, their like smell, the speed, all that is like it would be for a wolf. So they are when they are humans, they are like humans but with enhanced sense, and
Right.
when they are wolf, they are just controlling an actual wolf that is there.
Yeah, so they gain more speed, they have better senses, etc., and tracking and knows, like you said. And how is that then with the human part? Are they born lycanthropes, or is that a gift that they gain through I don't know, certain ritual or something? How is that?
That is born like that.
Okay, cool.
They're
So
like soulmates, but animal instead of human.
yeah.
It's also hereditary as well, so it will pass down through the family. So
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
Generation thing.
if your father, for example, is a lycanthrope, then there's a good chance that you will be a lycanthrope as well.
Okay. So random humans cannot be lycanthropes, or is that also a possibility?
I suppose. Well, you never know who has been back in your
Right.
tree. So maybe an old ancestor of yours was a lycanthrope, and then it will pass on to you after.
Right.
But they can't be turned. They can't be turned into one.
No,
Yeah.
it's not like the bite of one of the wolves would turn you into a lycanthrope. That won't happen. But I suppose you could also have genetic mutation. So, for example, as a random natural mutation, you could be born a lycanthrope where you haven't had lycanthropes previous in the family tree.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because it intrigues me a lot because, like I said, the whole story about lycanthrope, everybody thinks about, the typical traditional werewolf, and then you turn it around and say, you know what, we're gonna have a psychic link to the nearest wolf or to a companion, and that is how you, that's how it grows with it. Because they are always in packs, or is that also individuals?
It would be a combination of two. So, if possible, they find it more natural to be in a pack. Much like mere wolves do, lycanthropes find it easier and more secure to be in a pack of them.
Mm-hmm.
But in the case of the lead character in our story, Callie, she's a lone wolf. She was brought up away from other lycanthropes, and she doesn't even really know that many exist outside her. She's never seen another lycanthrope at the beginning of our story.
Okay. That's interesting.
And her partner. So she is absolutely a lone wolf. But that comes with its own negative reasons, because she doesn't have the pack influence. So she doesn't have somebody above her keeping her in control.
Right.
She has somebody teaching her what's right and what's wrong and how far you should go. And that's why during the first volume, she does seem to be out of control.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
as in a real pack, you would have the senior pack members be able to take on and train and mentor the younger members to ensure the kind of natural order of the pack. And that would happen with the Catholics as well.
You cannot see that with her partner, Christopher. He's like an ex-soldier, so he's, as well as being a council, he's used to following orders and giving them. And Callie is the total opposite, so they obviously clash a lot when he tries to control her, and she's like, no, not happening. So
yeah.
that's
Yeah, because Christopher is more like calm, collected, and Kelly is more raging and a lot of fire in her, hates humans. Is there a story behind that too that we may see later in the book? Or maybe an origin?
Yeah, you probably, well, yeah, you will. I said probably, but you will learn about the past of Callie on volume 2. I don't want to give any spoilers, but basically she's had a lot happening in her past, in her childhood, and that has influenced the way she acts now. It is all for a reason. She didn't just or a killer. So,
okay, that sounds cool. I'm gonna share your Kickstarter account. I want to say Indiegogo, but it's so weird because we are mostly I and Jeroen here is promoting a lot of Indiegogo campaigns.
Right.
But recently, our eyes is also going to towards Kickstarter, because Kickstarter has a lot of cool books. And then I saw you, and then I said, "Hey, that looks cool. That looks interesting." So me and Tompa also said, "You know what? Let's promote a lot of Kickstarter books and yours as well." So that's great. So I'm going to share the screen. Give me a second. So here, sharing. Okay, Woodland creatures, and here we go. Can you see this?
Yep.
Okay, let's go on to the top. So you already had some, you reached your goal. Congratulations, by the way, this is cool. And so volume 2, and with 20 days to go, it's great. Yeah.
We're very happy with how well that did. We managed to get the funding pretty much within 4 days, which was, it was a shock to us. I'm not gonna lie, it was a massive
on the first
really.
It took us like, I think we only reached the goal when there was 4 days left. So to reach it in the first 4 days, that was massive.
Yeah.
Wow. That's great. So there's because I read a little bit of the reviews and people gave feedback. They're all loving it, and very surprising. Yeah, it looks good. I mean, I love the art, by the way. It's really cool. I love how the walls are drawn. It's great.
Yeah, we are incredibly fortunate in our artists, and the fact everything that Thomas Ira does, it just blows us away. Dare I say, in fact, this first page which you were showing just now, that very top image is one which the second I got it and I saw it, I just went, wow. The shading and even the amount of color, even though it's just black and white, the amount of color that comes through on it is remarkable. And it's just everything Tomas does like that is just gobsmacking.
Yeah, it's very impressive. And by the way, this the smug face, I love that. Yeah, it's beautifully done. And like you said, and with the shading, and here it's going to link to the wolf, and then especially this wolf face here, it's very realistic. Although it's a comic, but it has a very realistic facial expressions. That's what I really like. So it's maybe a mix about realism and fantasy.
Yeah.
And
the one thing Tomas is brilliant at is somehow drawing a wolf's face but still making the human emotion come through on it.
Yeah.
And I don't know how he does it. It is remarkable. But for example, that image there that you can see of the wolf's face, you can see the anger and the hatred, which you know is Callie. And you can see Callie in the wolf, even though it is just a wolf.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of anger in the face of, well, facial expressions, how you can say it. And skip a little bit here. Yeah, because this is one in part 1. What we are seeing now, so this is not part 2. And a little bit of humor space here. Then we go to the UN, United Nations. And there's a story behind that because about recruiting wolves, because they pose a danger of, lycanthrope. So the whole lycanthrope thing was more like a secret, and the secret is now in the open, I presume?
Not really. It's like only the leaders of the countries know about the lycanthropes. They want to keep it this way, obviously, because, well, they don't want to cause any panic. But as well as that, they want to use the lycanthrope, or the military does, and they are already using them. So it is just kind of kept a secret, but there is some people in the higher offices that know about them. So everybody know about the lycanthropes. Basically, it's everything. It's all about that guy on the left, Colonel Harris, wanting to use the lycanthropes, wanting to not only use the ones he already has in the military, but wanting to use all of the lycanthropes in the war, making them, like, separate them from their human families or the rest of them, none of the humans, and making them join the armies of the different countries. And is trying to stop that. Is totally against that, obviously. They say that you cannot force lycanthropes to join the military and cannot keep them aside in kind of ghettos. So all the story is this guy trying to get his
try to weaponize them, probably. Yeah.
This is and it's another thing which we like with our story is there's a lot of realism running through it, and you can well imagine upper members of every country's military, when they know about these, dare we say, super people, of basically going, okay, can we weaponize them? And it doesn't really matter how they feel about this. You know, it doesn't matter what people's reactions are. Can we use this? Can we use these people as weapons?
I think it's also because they cannot see them as animals, or more animals than humans, so they really don't care. I mean, I think even if they were just humans, they wouldn't really care. But they see them kind of like they're linked to animals. We use animals, like the real military nowadays uses animals. So they are just finding them like it's a plus. You have a wolf that you can use like canines are used nowadays, and you also have a person linked to that wolf that can control the wolf and also has his abilities more developed. So he's like a super soldier.
Right. Cool. Yeah, I'm really wondering how they try to implement the military then, how they try to implement that. Jesus. Implement. Help me out.
Implement, guy. Implement.
Thank you very much. Well, yeah, Kate is my wingman or wing girl.
So basically, what the military is wanting to do is keep it hidden, so not broadcast that they know these werewolves exist, but force conscript them. So every werewolf which they know about, and they would know about these packs living in their countries, they would not get an option. They would basically come in and gather all the werewolves together into, in essence, a ghetto, and everybody Alligator would be forced to join the army. And it wouldn't matter whether they are male or female, you are still joining the army.
Oh, okay. So there's no difference in that. Okay.
You do see how they do it, or how he tries to do it, or not. Not giving any spoilers here. At the end of volume 3,
Yeah.
you see Harris all along the 3 volumes trying really hard to get his way, and at the same time you're seeing Callie and Christopher trying really hard to stop him, but it's like he keeps changing his tactics to get to where he wants. And then on volume 3 is where you can see what his plan is and what's going to happen. And another thing that you have to keep in mind, because I know nowadays it sounds really weird that nobody will know about these people, but when I started writing this, it was kind of centered before Facebook, before YouTube, and all of this. So obviously nowadays you will have the kind of like broadcasting and you will know them. But when I started writing it, it was all before social media. So it's easier to believe if you are in a world before Facebook and Instagram and all of that, that this secret will be easily, more easily kept.
More easily. Yeah.
Right.
I think if there's one bit of realism which we want to remove from this story, is that this is living in a world without Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah. Also, I found something. I found when I got the PDF here right on my left side here. So we see in this shot, I'm not sure if we can spoil part 1 a little bit. Probably most people have read it, but I'm not going to try to go into spoiler territory for those who does not read it before. We see here one of the main characters, I presume, yes, in a war-torn, area with a wolf. And I was wondering, so I forgot it. Let me see. There is something there that spotted him and that comes towards him very, very fast. And I was wondering, what kind of creature is that? Is that what you can spoil or not?
So this is a part of the story which isn't super developed. We never really talk a huge amount about it, but it clearly shows that there has been experiments done on these lycanthropes by the government. So trying to separate the wolf from the man and see how that affects, but also trying to do it the other way. See if you can implant the wolf's reactions and the wolf's mentality into the body of a human.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And this is clearly some experiment which is going on. And what we see in this scene is basically Christopher coming up against one of these failed experiments.
Right.
Why his initial reaction is basically, what the...
Yeah. He said that, hey, how has he seen me? And then runs towards Christopher very, very fast. And then, something happens. And that was really gruesome as well. I like that.
It's not something which we go overly into depth on, because we felt that might be worthy of a kind of spin-off. So that could be something we can look in.
Well, the sequel of the book, not the...
Yeah.
I have already started working on the sequel of the paperback novel, so I have left a few loose ends there to kind of get them later. So in the graphic novel, you don't actually see about those experiments, but you do see Christopher hinting at knowing that there is something going on, to kind of go to Harris and be careful what you do to me, because I know things, and you know I know things, and I can talk about those things. So it's basically only hinted here, but that's pretty much experiment they are doing.
Yeah, I thought so. So I'm not going into it much, but it seems that there is maybe a story, like you said, on the sideline that is in this universe. There's more just than standard lycanthrope or werewolf. There's something more, like you said, some experiments with that. So that's very intriguing.
Well,
And,
the way we're kind of looking at the war image that you're seeing here is very much the lycanthropes are in the army at the moment, and they're basically being used as special forces.
Okay, cool.
Where many countries have, say, the equivalent of the SEALs or SAS here in the UK or Spetsnaz or something like that. The lycanthropes are a secret organization or a secret military unit, which is top secret, so nobody else in the world really knows about these, but they can be deployed in special circumstances. And that's what we're kind of seeing Chris there. He is in a war, and we don't specify what war because I don't think it's necessary. There's many theaters of war all around the world, even today.
Right.
And clearly, Chris has been put in on a top secret mission. And yeah, as he's being deployed there, he's come against one of these experiments.
Right. I mean, looks, like I said, it looks great, but the story as well is very fleshed out. I mean, there's a lot of exposure what's going on also at the UN part, and afterward there's a mysterious figure, some kind of lycanthrope bodyguards, I presume. Let me double check if I recall his name. Let me scroll it. Where is he? Vincent. Yes. So is there something mysterious about him too? I mean, he is not part of a pack, right? He is a part of the organization.
Vincent is another lone wolf, and he's gone rogue, very rogue, and he's decided that the best way to use his skills and his ability is to become a mercenary for hire.
Yeah.
And so with Colonel Harris knowing that he's going after lycanthropes, he's hired one of them to do his dirty work. So that, like many military commanders, he doesn't get his own hands dirty. He lets somebody else do it for him.
Right. Cool.
That's very much what Vincent is there for. He's not so much a bodyguard. He's there if a dirty job needs doing.
Right. It's Vincent
who does it.
And he's basically like whoever pays the most to him, he goes with that. So at the moment he's with Harris, but that's because he's paying him.
Yeah.
So you never know what's going to happen with him, really.
So he is literally a man for hire. If Catelyn and Christopher were to drum up enough money, Vincent would change sides very quickly. And he does actually say this throughout the comic. He says at one point, along the lines of, I don't follow sides. I follow whoever gives me the most money.
Yeah. So like a mercenary for hire, something like that. Yeah. Okay, great. So, now we come back to, now you started part 2, and you said there's maybe a part 3 or maybe a part 4. Is this an ongoing series?
There is absolutely going to be a part 3. There is not going to be a part 4. The whole idea that we have is because it's based on the paperback novel, we've already divided that novel up into 3 volumes.
Right,
so the 3 volumes will compose the entire first book. That is our kind of idea. We want the whole paperback novel in graphic novel form. As Christina said, she is working on a sequel, and so maybe sometime down the line we will see Woodland Creatures 2 appear on the market, which will hopefully then be turned into a graphic novel as well. But our idea at the moment is just the 3 volumes as an all-encompassing story that's not going to run on for 100, 200 series, and by episode 95, that we are just writing for money.
Yeah, exactly. So it's more like a contained story about 3 volumes. And are you going to do maybe a trade paperback or something like that? Or a bundled version?
Yeah, I mean, it's not something that we've really thought about, but I suppose at the end we will do a kind of compilation, and we'll do one large graphic novel with
Yeah,
3 volumes composed together. Yeah, it's still something we need to think about. I mean, that's a long way off. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, why not? I mean, you have a part 2, so part 3 is coming, and if now maybe next year, I presume, the whole set is complete, you can, I don't know, relaunch it in a more, I don't know, special format, maybe a soft cover or hardcover, maybe a different cover art as well, and with some extras. I don't know. Just you can maybe reach new audiences with this. Just thinking out of the box, right?
Yeah.
One step at a time, no?
Yeah. We'll get volume 2 out, and then we'll get volume 3.
Yeah, absolutely, step by step.
Because maybe
Yeah.
people will be just fed up with us by then.
Probably, maybe. Yeah. I mean, crowdfunding is not easy. I mean, it costs a lot of time.
Yeah.
Did you have problems with COVID-19 as well? I mean, you both come from Spain. I live in Holland. Jeroen comes from Holland, and Kate comes from somewhere else.
Slovakia.
Yes, Slovakia. Yeah, Slovakia. Yeah, we call it Slovakia. But COVID-19, is that halted your progress with the comic as well? I mean, I have the problem with that. My artist GL Giles is in Spain, and yeah, it affects all of us there also as well. So how? Yeah.
Although Christina is Spanish, we actually live in the UK. So we actually live.
Okay, I didn't know that. Sorry.
And yeah, we're actually really surprised that the crowdfunder's done so well, because we would normally have an entire year of doing Comic-Cons,
Right,
promoting it. And obviously, every single one of those conventions has been cancelled this year.
Yeah.
There's been no word of mouth, so it's massively hit us. You know, we haven't reached nearly as large an audience as we normally would do. Fortunately, it hasn't slowed the work. If there's been any benefit of COVID, it's that with us being locked down and at times not allowed to leave the house, Christina's been working extra hard. So, if anything, work has actually progressed a little bit quicker on the graphic novel, because all the time has been able to be dedicated to it. Unfortunately, our artist has been able to keep up with the work. The only downside has been obviously publicity and not getting as much word out.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's I can imagine. Yeah. Also, but with in Holland, we don't have much conventions anymore. We have very small conventions, but it's all died out even before COVID. What is your experience with that, Jeroen, with conventions? Did you go there, or do you know how it all works?
So we were last year attending pretty much one convention every weekend from March until October. So we were very popular amongst the convention stand, and in actual fact, some other attendees, some other comic promoters were joking at us, saying that they could guarantee that we would be there. You know, they knew it was a convention if they saw Alan and Christina heading to the train station. You know,
really.
So we were attending a lot of conventions, and this year it's obviously been a big change. We managed to get to two conventions at the very beginning of the year before it kind of all blew up. So we got to one at the end of January and one at the beginning of February, and then as COVID kind of spread across Europe, that was it. Everything got cancelled, and as far as we're aware, it's still a big question mark over next year.
Yeah, exactly. Well, good to know that in the UK, conventions are still a big thing. Like I said, with us, we have maybe once a year. With a little bit of luck, and that's what it is. It's not what it used to be.
Well, I would strongly recommend, if you can, get over to the UK scene. because every small town, every village has its own convention now. So we live in Edinburgh, so the capital of Scotland.
Yeah.
There are 4 conventions in Edinburgh alone. And then if we get down to London, there's another 4 or 5 down there throughout the year. There's 2 over in Glasgow, there's 1 in Aberdeen, there's 1 in Dundee, there's 1 in Fife. So there are so many conventions that you can get to, and people do still love coming to it, particularly the smaller ones where you have indie comic creators like ourselves going along and you're able to pitch to a nice audience. So
Cool.
if you can, get over to the UK.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I mean, I thought that the whole, our comic industry around in Europe is gone or something, because I didn't know you were gone, Jeroen, by the way. I was just looking at my screen with the comments. So sorry that you, what happened, by the way? Did you lost connection?
Yeah, for a minute, but then you didn't respond, so I listened in the background. But you also have a few live comments. So.
Oh, really? Okay.
A question, actually.
Hey, it's David. Let's see if I can show it. Good afternoon, David. Thanks for coming around and watching the show. And you have some more. Hello, mates. The Roswell sounds a bit distant. Okay. Yeah, there's a little bit.
Yeah, that was 25 minutes ago. It sounds a lot better. So.
Okay. Sorry, David. Hope you're still around. I mean, I didn't know you were there. And then I have a question. Is Woodland Creatures PG-13 or R rated?
Yeah, R. Yeah. If we were to put it onto television, it would probably be an aged 15 over. But there is definitely lots of swearing in it. There's lots of blood. There's lots of gore. It is not recommended for children. And it's one thing which we actually have an issue with at Comic-Cons is when we'll see like a 5-year-old child running past and go, "Oh, wolves, how cute!"
They are not cute. I mean, they are.
Look away, children.
Yeah,
There's something going on. Yeah, I said I read the first volume, and there was some gruesome stuff in there. There's some bloody. Okay. Oh yeah! All right, sounds awesome. Oh, great. Glad you're still here, David. Cool. You have maybe other questions as well? You can fire it away. We're still here. Waiting for David.
Yeah.
So, how about you, Jeroen? Did you want to ask some questions or have some? Hey, how? Or not? Jeroen is the shaman.
Yeah, the points that the questions that I had, you already brought up when I was in the background. So.
Sorry, I didn't saw you, buddy.
There's one thing at the end. There is this. I think it's supposed to be a double page.
Is this a
with?
spoiler?
It looks like the shattered glass with all the images.
Yeah.
That. You really have to look at each image, or you feel like you missed something at the next page.
That's what we wanted, and that's kind of a deliberate thing, because the whole idea of the shattered glass is this is the full moon and Callie loses control. This is when she becomes full wolf in human's body. And we wanted that shattered glass to kind of say, this is her mental state, kind of exploding.
So a little bit like the chaos in her head, so to speak.
Absolutely. And so each image is a part of the night, and it shows how she snaps and basically goes on a murder spree. And yeah, every image is very important. And you're absolutely correct. If you don't spend time looking at that page and getting every image, the next few pages can be a little bit confusing. But that was kind of our idea. We wanted that.
Yeah. Well, it definitely worked. The first time I read it, I actually had to go back a few pages later because they said that she did things that she was going to be arrested for. So
Yeah.
I really had to go back. Like, wait, what did I miss? What happened actually? So that really worked out.
Yeah, we wanted that because we felt that a page without any dialogue on it would be very easy for people just to flip through and say, oh,
Yes.
I've had a look at the image, that looks nice, let's move on. And we wanted something to try to bring people's attention in and say, don't just go past this too quickly.
Yeah.
Well, you did a great job, and it did when with the shattered glass, each picture represents another scene. I thought maybe, this may be something in the past or a memory or something, and then I see Kelly running away, and then it trans over to the next shot. I mean, it's really brilliantly done, by the way, I must say. I love each panel has a different emotion. Well, of course, for Kelly is angry the whole time, but there's a lot, and she is also a calm bit on the first splash page, and then we see the full moon. Yeah, and she's going berserk. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, but the following pages really make you look at the art. You really have to look at what is happening in the shattered glass, or you don't understand the last pages.
There is one particular panel which, sadly, there's nothing that we could do about, but because it's right in the center. In fact, is there any way of bringing that page up? Could we? Yeah, could you share the screen to show that page? I mean,
sure.
Here, but it could be easier for you just to bring it up, and then that way people watching us know what it is that we're kind of talking about.
Okay, I'm gonna share the screen. Just give me a sec. Add to stream.
Yes, by the way. Yeah, spoilers. So this very central image, right underneath the full moon, in the actual printed comic, it is sadly split right down the center, but it's very important because this is Vincent whispering a trigger to Callie. And you can see that by him talking, it's a comment which he makes, which we never know what that comment is, but that's what makes her snap. And that's why. And this is, again, what we were talking about, Harris and somebody doing his dirty work. This is Colonel Harris getting Vincent to make some comment to prove that werewolves or lycanthropes are dangerous.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy. It's excellent. Hey, we have Matt. Hey, Matt, how you doing? Excellent looking comic.
It's for sure.
Absolutely. Welcome to the show, Matt. Glad you're here. Yeah, it's beautiful. Can we? Is it possible that we may show some more pages that you want to share, or maybe not?
Yeah. I mean, well, any other pages that you want to show, we're just going to say spoiler alert.
Yeah. Okay. Let's let me look it up here first because there's some intrigue. Okay, just end because I don't want to spoil for the people who. By the way, I have to. Jeroen, can you go to the very first page, the cover?
Of course.
This one. It's very beautiful, and then also the dual, the wolf image on the bottom, like a reflection. It's really brilliantly done, I must say, and love the colors as well.
This is our banner at Comic-Cons. This is what we have behind our stands, and I think it's one thing which always gets people attention when they walk past.
Yeah.
David, it is a print, and it is a we have it as a poster print. It is available on our website and on the Kickstarter. So if you do back us on the Kickstarter, you can message us and we will, we can add that onto any pledge and any back that you want to give us. So yeah, it is available.
Cool. Yeah, it looks very nice. Let me see if I can show a little bit more. Just scroll over through my PDF here on the left side. Hey, David, you want to see some gruesome stuff? See if we can make you a little bit happy.
If this is the image I think it is, then yeah.
Hide the heat.
Probably the first shot with the wolf, with the guy in the woods. Is that a possibility, or is that a spoiler?
Oh, no, absolutely sure. Yeah, sure. It's great.
Okay, Jeroen, you are my second wingman.
You have a page number for me, or?
Well, that's not. Is there a page number? Let me check. No, there's no page number, but let's scroll it a little bit. Yeah, and then with the biting in the ankle.
Oh, I think that was
Uh,
a little bit
Hey,
earlier.
Tsunami,
No.
how you doing?
Or
Hello.
it's about
Welcome.
Keep going.
next page.
The next one.
Here,
Yes.
this.
Let's see if I can make it a little bit bigger. So
So,
first,
Hello.
yeah, and if
Yeah.
you scroll a little bit, yeah.
Tatsu, thanks for joining us.
Great you have here, Tatsu.
Perfect for children. You know?
Previous
Yeah.
one. I think the previous one is even worse.
You'd see wolves, right?
It's just a wolf.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And
Yeah.
the snap of the neck is even more gruesome than the blood part.
Yeah.
This.
Yeah.
Yeah, the big snap.
It's the plus side of not having color.
Yep. Ouch, indeed, David. I don't want to have that in my ankle.
So,
Great. Poor baby, yes.
Yeah.
Me too.
Well, yeah, a little
Poor
bit.
kid. No, too bad.
Yeah, I particularly love this entrance that we have to the graphic novel because I think it really sets the scene and it gets people's attention, and it will clearly show that Callie is not your lovely, sweet
Some people know.
heroine in distress.
Yeah.
You know, she can and will look after herself, and if you happen to not be working out on that side,
Mhm.
you're going to end up 6 feet under. It is as simple as this.
It's also good because it makes you think, I think, that the
Yep,
guy
sorry.
is going to be the protagonist, and then you see the, no, really? No.
Yeah, and Kelly is also has a wild side with her as well. I don't mean the aggressive side, but she doesn't take shit from anybody. That's really cool. But is she a love interest of Christopher, or
Yes.
is
They are
Yeah.
couple. They are just like not very romantic. So,
okay? So we have some
but yeah, they're a couple.
great.
Funny, somebody asked us this the other day, and so Christina went back through the original paperback novel, and she realized that at no point at all through the entire novel do they ever say "I love you" to each other.
Okay, so there's some tension between them.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're just not the romantic type. And I hadn't actually realized until a few days ago that they don't say "I love you," not even once. So they do love each other, but they don't actually say it to the other person.
Right. Yeah.
yeah, he calls her at the end. He calls her his girlfriend once, right? But
Yeah.
Awesome.
but this opening scene as well does have a little bit more importance once you read volume 2.
Okay.
It's in volume 2 that you start to see a little bit more, as I mentioned earlier, about Callie's backstory. And we really understand why she has that hatred for people. And once you see the reasons for it, there are a couple triggers in this opening scene. And I'm not going to give any spoilers. I'm not going to say what the triggers are. But once you realize what it is that makes Callie snap, you'll go back to this opening scene and go, oh, you're right. It's at that 1 second that everything changes. So it does have extreme importance for later on down the line.
Yeah. I there's some stuff here that really intrigues me, but I want to ask questions, but I cannot do that. But so maybe for a later date. Speaking of the soldier aspect of Christopher, Jeroen, can you show that with the wolf again? With the
Which part?
Jesus, how can you say that without pages?
Yeah, the part with the wolf. Yeah, that's half the book.
It's a flashback.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
Yes.
I don't know how far in the book it is. but-
Okay, well let's.
Oh.
Nope, we can't stop sharing because let's do this. No spoilers here. Tell me if you got it. Well, it's a big book. It's how many pages?
It's page 48. It's page 48, I think.
Page 48. Thank you,
Yeah.
Naira.
Oh wow!
It's 56 pages long.
Oh wow!
So it's a good first volume. The second volume will be the same as well. So we are aiming at all 3 volumes being roughly the same length. Volume 3 might be longer.
Wow!
Yeah.
Yes.
So this part, right? So we see here. How do you spell his last name, by the way? Is it Slijagi or Sligaji?
Silashi.
Sligaji.
It's Hungarian name, I think. That's what. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was asking because the first time we chatted, I really thought you were from Hungary, so that's why I chose the name.
But his Christopher's mother is from Central Europe, so that's why he's got that surname.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So-
okay. It took me about 3 months to actually get the name correct as well.
I can imagine. I mean, it's not that really it rolls from the tongue or something, right? Maybe with a couple of beers that could be
Yeah,
different.
they have crazy names actually. They really do.
Yeah, and I like that. It's way different than the standard names that we have in comics. What I particularly like is the realism of the weapon. By the way, I mean it's not that a gun that you draw out of your head. This is really the artist. Maybe you did a lot of how do you say research about the weapons and how he's holding them, etc. It's really great. Yeah.
So the one thing about Christina, and not only being the PR man, but being her boyfriend and living with her, the amount of effort and research that goes into this graphic novel to make sure that honestly, there's nothing there that people can go, oh, you got that wrong.
Yeah.
Because there's always people like that. There's always people who will read your comic and try to find something wrong with it.
Yeah.
And so the amount of research that we put in. So I distinctly remember being slightly worried in case anybody was checking our internet connection at one point as Christina's Googling various different weapons and finding out exactly which army uses which weapons and at what years they were in use. And yeah, it was slightly concerning having a look at the search history of just weapons and images of weapons.
But it's not just me, actually. My illustrator also does a lot of research. Like just the other day, I was asking him how he was doing because I hadn't got an update in a while, and that was weird. So I said, oh, are you waiting for me to send you something? And he said, Oh no, sorry. I know what the point is. I was just researching the streets of Petersburg in Alaska to find a house for this character. I was like, whoa, okay. So yeah, we are both just as crazy.
Yeah, Tatsunami likes it a lot, and David praises as well. He's speaking a little bit German in the chat, so I can understand German because I live at the Dutch border, so I know exactly what they're saying. But they are really impressed with your work, and it's great. I love that people are also excited for the book as well.
It makes us very happy as well. It makes us very happy you're excited for it.
Cool. And well, can we maybe show one more thing? Let me double check.
You name it.
Yeah. We have the splintering and maybe a little bit dynamic between the main characters. It would be nice. Because I want to show that as well. It's not only action that I want to show, but also a little bit. Oh, by the way, yeah, that sounds weird, but I'm glad you say that you not stray away from. There's also nudity in here, by the way. Not much, but it's functional nudity. If that makes sense. I mean, we see here Kelly going to the apartment, and then she's taking a bath, and she's still pissed off. Don't show that, by the way, Jeroen. And then she's, taking her clothes off, and then she goes to the counter. But you still see the emotions that she's still, thinking about, and it takes you don't go with your eye to the nudity. You go to the eyes of the expression and the setting of that picture. It's setting up the mood really well. That's really great.
It was actually a source of discussion amongst the team. Is some members of the team would say that it would sell better if we did show kind of a full nudity scene. That's what people who like the action and like the female characters would want. And we disagreed. We were very much saying, yeah, but that's putting nudity in for the sake of having nudity. And we don't need that.
Yeah, I didn't want to have Kali naked just for the sake of having Kali naked. I was talking to the screenwriter, and I was saying that I don't see the need of this scene, showing her boobs or whatever. It's like it's not needed, and I don't want that in my book. And not because I am a woman, but because it's not needed for this story. And you have so many things to say and so many things to put in a kind of small. I mean, compared to the book, this is a small graphic novel. So there are so important things to do and to write and to represent that. To waste panels just to show a woman naked, I didn't see the point. So I just asked him to not, the illustrator, to not to do too many of those. Just what is needed.
Yeah, as you described it, functional nudity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. It's not vulgar or anything or meant to be sexy. It's just mean, she's taking off her clothes as she's going into bath, and she's just pondering what happened. So it's not really over the top, super sexy or something, and that is not supposed to be. So that is what I like about the scene as well. Matt, I linked it into the chat. You're welcome, by the way. So great. Hope you like it. And you know what? Maybe we can talk about the second part of your campaign before we spoil everything from the first book, and that's not what we want, of course. So I'm going to share the screen here. Thank you, Jeroen, for sharing the whole stuff.
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, here we go. Share screen. And then we go to the woodland creature. So I was here on the way, and this is the second part. Art of the second part. They are in a cabin in a wood. So, and there's some interest here I see between these characters.
Yep. We don't have a shared screen.
Oh, really? Not? Oh, I'm sorry. That's my fault. Here. Here we go. We have Kelly. Yeah.
So this scene here, a I love, because this is a flashback to when Callie and Christopher first met. This is the very first minute that they share, that they lock eyes.
Yes. So she is here in the rain with the wolf companion, and I presume here this is part of the first pages as well, and she's going back to that memory. She's here. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So she's here.
Thinking back
Running in the rain. Yeah.
This bit. I think this image here that you're showing is very important as well, because the one thing which we never wanted with Callie was we didn't want a little dainty size 0 picture perfect model, because that's not realistic. We wanted a girl with curves. We wanted somebody realistic.
Yeah. People, that's what.
I know, but we wanted somebody who she's full of energy and she is moving, she's running a lot. And so it makes sense, but she has the muscles and she has the body strength to carry that. And we really wanted to show that, particularly in this image. You can see that's not a girl you want to get on the wrong side of.
Exactly. She's working out, she has muscles, she's not petite or small or looking weak. No, she has a mission. She looks determined. Yeah. Exactly. And then we come to a woodshed. Looks like Grandpa's still up. I presume that's a reference to Red Riding Hood, or not?
Not actually.
I'm kidding. So it's actually Grandpa. So is she here younger, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah. So a little bit younger in this one.
It's like 2.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's about two years before the main story.
Yeah. Yes, just more softer face. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I love the cabin, by the way. It's a lot of detail, especially the window in the back and the detail behind that, and then the fire and with.
I just realized the portrait, the picture on the.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's a picture. Yeah.
That's the picture that you can see in the book, in the inner covers of the book.
Oh, really?
That picture.
Yeah. So the very opening page of volume 1. We decided we'd have a nice little homage to that, and we would take that same opening image and put that as a picture in Charles's cabin. Yeah.
That was actually the illustrator's idea, not ours. I loved it.
Yeah, and then we see Kelly here entering the cabin. There's a little bit of a positive. How do you say?
Flirtatious.
Yeah, there's something going on, right? Yeah.
So the older gentleman that we see there, that is Callie's grandpa. And he is British born. So he's born and raised in Britain. And Christina decided it'd be a lovely little kind of joke almost to be very British and have him addicted to tea. By the very first statement that he makes.
Very British indeed.
Tea? Because we're British, and so tea solves all problems.
Well, it has a calming effect, so yeah, I agree. And I'm not even British, so yeah. Okay, what do we have more in the works? We have reviews of backers, and people are very positive, and there are some links about that to a certain websites. What I'm very interested to take on urban fantasy. There's really no telling where the story is going. It makes it all the more interesting. Great. It's great to see that people, go give that so much praise, and that it gives you also more energy to make the second comic and maybe the third even better. Go all in.
When we were attending the conventions earlier this year, we had a lovely moment where we finally launched volume 1 at the end of last year. We finally had that in printed copies. And so the first Comic Cons this year were the first time that we were selling the actual first volume. And I remember having one lady coming up to us and she said, "Oh, I saw you at a Comic-Con last year and I bought the preview. I bought a 10-page preview from you. And I've been following you almost every week to see what you said." And she'd heard that we'd released it. And so she came along to this convention purely to see us and buy the first volume. And for us, that was something to know that somebody had literally been waiting a year to get in and buy it from us. And that was a lovely thing.
Yeah, that was a fantastic moment, I guess. Yeah, great. Hey, and Christina, you can do some art as well. You didn't tell me that.
Yeah, that was unknown to me as well. Believe it or not. I was surprised myself that I managed to do that. So, and as an actual fact, I have received a couple of comments from people backing and asking me. One of them was asking me if he could buy 7 copies of this drawing, and I was a bit like, "What? Are you crazy?" So you don't want the other print by professional artists, you want mine. Okay. Yeah, sure, you can have 7 or whatever you want.
That's absolutely gorgeous. So there's a beautiful print here. That's a part of the stretch goal, right? Let's see. So.
By the way, I'm not sure if David is still in the chat, but if he is, you can navigate Kickstarter to find our first Kickstarter, which will show all the different prints which we had available on that campaign as well. If you would like any of the original prints from that first campaign, let us know.
Yeah.
Oh, you should.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They are on the,
Sorry.
They are on that page.
In the chat, well, I can't see it because I'm on here on the.
They are on the page on the Kickstarter for Volume 1. You have like 3, 4 prints from the first one. Obviously, not the exclusive ones, but there is other ones, and they are available if anybody wants them.
Yeah.
And I can sign them as well. I didn't say it anywhere, but
yeah. So yeah, if you do want them signed, Christina's happy to do that.
Perfect. Okay, good. I was maybe for the people just still in the chat, were in the chat, but again, I'm going to share the screen again because I want to go a little bit through the stretch goals, what people can expect from your comic, which is also a part of and most fun of crowdfunding. So this is a beautiful print, and I love that you also do the Spanish version, by the way. It's cool. And this is what I particularly like. So this is the color version of the black and white page that we saw earlier.
Yeah.
Really cool done. Yeah.
I think this image is lovely because it has multiple uses. Once you've read the volume and you know the reason behind this, and you know that she's lying there basically crying over Christopher, it has that deep emotional image. But if you just want a nice picture of a girl with a dog, then it works equally well for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And also the lovely colors. I mean, the soft colors on the background. I mean, I love that when the character itself, including the wolf in this case, pops really up. Your eyes go straight to where it's supposed to go, and then we have some lush, beautiful colors on the backside with a little bit of lighting and a little bit of shading as well on the side with the tree. Love it. Really cool done. Yeah. I love the smallest details, with the leaves, etc. Yeah.
We need to put a light on. It's getting a bit dark for us here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's an hour difference between our country and yours, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And we have another one. Oh. Speaking of codes, great. I love this one. I mean, it accentuated a little bit also from the early pages that she's running in the room with the companion, with the Amarok.
Yeah.
Is this a different artist, right?
Yes, this is a different artist.
Yeah.
I think one thing I love about this is it's just small details. Like you notice she's running barefoot because she's being a lycanthrope. She doesn't really care about shoes. She's so used to going out barefoot that for her it doesn't matter. So you have her running through the forest barefoot.
Yeah, like she's part of the woods itself with the whole surrounding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Absolutely cool. Nice. We have some action moments here, like straight from a poster from a movie. It looks like it.
So
yeah,
this one's done by the same artist who's done covers for the likes of Power Rangers and Firefly. So he's a prestigious artist. And we added in a small subliminal message on this one. The message on Callie's t-shirt, I stand with a big bad wolf.
Yeah.
We actually, for the first part of our campaign, we worked with a charity based over in California who actually rescue wolves. And they are a charity where they will try to rehabilitate mentally traumatized wolves.
Really?
With army veterans who are suffering from PTSD. And it's so that both the wolf and the veteran have a sympathizing partner to help them get through any problems which they have. And their mission statement is, I stand with a big bad wolf. So we wanted to really show our support for that charity. And yeah, we put that front.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Oh, wow.
If anyone is interested, just a shout out to Lark, based in California. They did a TV series called Wolves and Warriors, which is well worth checking out. It was on Animal Planet. Yeah, if anyone is interested to find out a little bit more about that charity, check out Wolves and Warriors and kind of see the amazing work that
that's a very nice gift, man. Yeah, it's very nice that you do that. So it's so new. It's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Love that. Oh yeah, here the better picture.
Yeah,
with both, and then we have some other prints as well. Lovely companionship. Yeah.
So these are the prints which we had on the original volume. So sorry, on the first Kickstarter.
Yeah. Okay. So everybody got the A4 prints.
Yeah.
Right. This is the markup A4 print from the first book as well, and then we have some lovely happy times. It's a little bit of a small picture, but unfortunately, I'm not very good at making it a little bit bigger here. But it's nice.
Lovely because it does show that the reality of life. So, the wolves are always there. They don't just vanish when they're not in control. So you've got to try to imagine life in an everyday setting with two wolves walking around. And anyone who's got a pet dog knows fine well they never leave you alone. They're often referred to as shadows, because they're always there. And so here we've got our main characters just chilling out, reading a book. Yeah.
Relaxing, have a cup of tea.
Which Christopher is reading is Woodland Creatures. It is the back novel. So, little cameo there. But yeah, so it's basically just a nice, happy, relaxed time at home.
Yeah, I see it. Nicely done. Very cool. So how long does this, I'm a little bit unfamiliar with the whole Kickstarter campaigns and how it really works because we are mostly on Indiegogo, but I'm, try to broaden my horizon. So how does that run with the campaign? Is it 30 days max or something? Or how does that work a little bit?
This one, it was 30 days. I think you can select for a campaign to run longer than that, but Kickstarter recommends you to set it for 30 days. I think that's the best time. So I decided to set it for 30 days. And I think we have 20 days left. But the good thing about, I don't know haven't used Indiegogo, but Kickstarter only charges you once the 30 days are over. So even anybody wanting to pledge now, they won't get charged until October.
Right. Absolutely. Cool. 20 days to go. Nice. Cool. I love it. I love it. It is always fun for me. You know, I just read the comic, but I always want to know what's behind the story, right? And I don't mean the what's in the comic, but from the creators like you two as well. I can tell that you are very passionate about what you are doing, and that really, you know, transfers over into your comic as well. There's a lot of not only the detail, but a lot of thought on how to, you know, express the characters, how they move into the world, what the backgrounds is. So there's a lot there, and you see this is a labor of love, by the way. Yeah, I really like that. Is there something you want to tell the people who possibly are interested in this book? Something?
I suppose the only thing which I would love to be able to give him more information. I can't. I can literally just kind of shout it out. Is Woodland Creatures is going places.
Right.
We do have a producer interested and has been very keen to take Woodland Creatures into other areas, shall we say. Obviously can't go into any more detail, but yeah, we do have a producer interested in the story.
Wow. Great message. Matt says, I love to see European comics being promoted, especially such high quality European comics. Well, that's a big compliment, right?
Yeah, thank you so much, Matt. I mean, it is obviously folks like yourselves who want to come on and read it, which, you know, hearing your feedback, you know, it really does give me a glow. I know that sounds silly, I know it sounds exaggerated, but it really does make me feel happy every time I read these comments, and I know people are enjoying it.
Yeah, absolutely. David, you say this looks totally like a Splitter book. If it's not them, they should be. I'm not sure what a Splitter is, by the way. I'm not
something I'm familiar with. Do you want to fill us in on that one, David?
A Splitter book. Never heard of that term. Yeah, well, maybe it's not from my area. Let me say what was sharing this comic around, inspiring stuff. Thank you, Matt. By the way, Matt has also an Indiegogo campaign, shameless promotion here. Kyrie, an Indiegogo, and David has also a campaign that I'm going to look it up as well. You know what? I'm going to leave the link in the description.
Awesome. Just while you're doing that, I'm seeing that Miriam, you said that you had a question.
Yeah, I wanted to ask how long has it been since you started all this Kickstarter thing? Is it months or years, or how long does it normally take? Because like I mentioned earlier, that you have a team or you are a few people working together, and I'm alone. So I was just counting in my head like how many crazy months is it that takes to run a project like that?
It's definitely years.
I think we started with the comic on 2018.
Yeah.
Back then I started talking about it and promoting, and I created the preview. And then we started attending Comic Cons last year. But the preview, I think it was 2018. So it's been a while, but
yeah.
That's kind of a good answer because I was worrying that you would say like 3-4 months, and I couldn't imagine making a campaign in such a short time.
Even with a very good team behind us, and you know, I do want to make this very obvious to all the viewers. It's not just us. We might be the face of the project, but you know, we couldn't be here without Thomas Ira and Fali, our scriptwriter, and Gonzalo, the letterist. You know, we do have a good team helping us, but even so, we're looking at about a year turnaround for every volume.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And so that's our opinion as well. Just like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with your work, by the way. I mean, and it's such a refreshing that not only how do you say it? I'm sorry, I guess I'm talking with my emotions that when I see someone project come to life and then people really enjoying that, and then you are here promoting your work, but from your how do you say, your body language and how you talk about your comics makes me really happy. So yeah.
The one problem I have at comic conventions is trying to get myself to shut up about it.
You're just like me. I'm yabbering also. I keep talking and talking and talking. I know what you mean. Yeah.
And don't you have this problem that people come to you and they come only to you? Because I once read somewhere that usually when people come to conventions, they don't really care about girls authors or maybe girl artists. They immediately come to the guys.
Yeah, we've definitely had that. We've found that we've had a few people come up and spoken to me as if I know everything about it, and they've acted as if I'm the writer and the artist. And when I introduce Christina as the editor and the creator, they have that very confused look, almost kind of going, wait, a girl did this? Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
This is a female creation.
That's probably also my fault because I'm super shy when I'm in front of people. And so obviously he's usually standing up, I'm sitting kind of working on my stuff. So they obviously approach him and then I am just like mute next to him, just nodding. And they think he's the creator. Then he says, oh no, that's Christina. And they are like, but they are probably thinking, why is he not talking then? Because I'm a writer. I don't do the talking. I'm not that people's person. So I let him do the kind of PR bit. But I don't know. I cannot say if they are just being slightly sexist, just assuming that he is the author, or if it is just because of my body language and me being so introvert that they just assume it is him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. You're not the only one, because the person above you there, Miriam here, there, was also the shy one, but now she, pops up all on the stream all the time. So it's just, you're getting used to it. What did you say?
It is one very good thing about the UK comic scene is there's a lot of female creators and a lot of female artists now being promoted and getting kind of featured scenes. It's more common to find the majority of artists being female at conventions in the UK now. So it really is a strong, equal platform over here. You can't judge a book on the gender of the person writing it or gender creating it. So I would say once conventions get back to normal, if you can get over to the UK scene, it's absolutely fantastic.
Sounds like an invitation.
You can always try the UK market first.
Yeah. I'm definitely interested. I hope when the COVID bans is a little bit more, going away or whatever, and definitely.
We should definitely meet at some convention.
Yeah.
That'd be fantastic. There's a couple of very good ones in London, which obviously would be easier for you to get to rather than the likes of Edinburgh and whatnot. But it really is a good international hub, and you'll see lots of international artists coming over and showcasing at London Comic Cons. So yeah, I would really recommend it.
Yeah. Nice. That's absolutely nice stuff. Hey, I think we should wrap it up.
Okay.
Thanks for coming. It was really inspiring stuff, by the way. And I hope you have a great job, an enjoyable evening too with us. So I hope you are not, nervous anymore, Christina. So if you want to hop on the stream, talking about comics, you too as well. Hey, just come over. You are welcome. So by the way, yeah,
Of course.
okay.
One little reminder for the viewers, by the way. We always have promoted Indiegogo. Most of our followers also use usually Indiegogo, but Kickstarter doesn't have the in-demand store after the campaign closes. So keep those 20 days in mind, because after that the campaign closes.
Yeah. So there's no in demand. No, exactly.
There's no extra time. So
Yeah.
By the way,
it's to back this project, and then
yes.
Can I ask maybe a little bit, maybe another question? Are you planning maybe or maybe not go to promote your work on Indiegogo later on or not?
I wasn't thinking about it. I had a look last year on Kickstarter and Indiegogo and decided to go for Kickstarter, sorry. But I think it's more like this is so exhausting. Like the promotion is so exhausting. I have to spend pretty much the whole day thinking of ways to promote this and to get it to reach new people, than just thinking about doing this, keeping doing this for another extra month after the 20 days finish. I'm just like, no.
And is this your job?
No, I have another job. I work in a shop part time, so I have to go to that job and then come here and promote for the rest of the day. So it's just like it's nice to disconnect. And also, I will have to focus on making volume 2 after this is over. So that will be me revising scripts, revising layouts, and pretty much making sure that everything is done quickly or as quickly as possible.
Yeah. This is one downside that we have that Miriam won't when you're doing all the work yourself, is obviously we get the script sent over from our script writer, and we have to go through that to make sure that the English is okay and make sure that it flows and sounds good. And then we've got to send that to our artist to make sure that the script which we've agreed on actually fits in the boxes which he's making, to make sure it fits in the panel. And then it has to come back to us, and we'll have to edit it and possibly shorten it and then send it forward again.
Yeah.
There's a whole backwards and forwards and lots of work. So one bonus that you have, Miriam, is obviously you have all that there. So.
Yeah. Well, actually, I was talking with Mari for last few days about maybe finding someone to help me a little bit, maybe with the PR or maybe with the coloring, and I really loved the colored pages of your comic, and I also wanted to ask about the colorist, but it was probably the same guy who did the inking.
Yeah, it was. We chose to do a black and white comic for two main reasons. The first of all is we almost found that the story came through more on black and white. We found that the images were just as striking, if not more striking, with black and white rather than having them in color. And the second big reason is that by coloring, the price per panel literally doubled.
Yeah.
So we would love to see the whole thing in color, and this is why we have one or two select panels which are colored, and we'll sell them as prints. But it's just not financially viable for us to be doing it colored.
Yeah, I have the same as well. And I must say, I'm doing black and white as well, and yours is as black as white as well. And you asked me, yesterday, I believe, or should I do it in color or not? Well, that's a difficult question, because some art is, in my opinion, way more better or beautiful or exciting in black and white.
Yeah.
Color is, of course, a little bit enhancement, but it does not always enhance the art itself from black and white to color.
Yeah.
And people think that, hey, if it's black and white, you color it, it's always better, but it's not always the case.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's a good decision that you made it this in black and white as well. I mean, the art shines way more.
Yeah. I think people believe that if it's colored, it's going to sell more.
Yeah.
That's not always the case. You know, we have found that definitely having it black and white, it's more eye-catching than it is colors, and so it stands out more on the market.
Right.
So it draws people's eyes to it, and it doesn't necessarily look cheaper.
No.
So I would definitely say don't feel that you have to color the comic, you know, or the graphic novel. Make sure that the art speaks for itself. You know, and that might be best in black and white.
Yeah, I think in your case, this comic is actually indeed much better to do it without color, because there are several scenes that I would think that if they were colored, the focus would go to the wrong thing in the story. For example, the part where we showed the attack where she bites in the leg and then the neck gets snapped and all that. Once you color that, people start looking at more at the injuries, at the blood, at the gruesome stuff instead of what the panel is actually showing.
Yeah.
Can you go there,
and of course the nudity, then people start looking at the girl instead of the story itself. So
absolutely, completely agree.
Yeah, David has a good one. I bought Xenotype in black and white, and comics like Dragon Guard and Gozor and Woodland look better in black and white. Yeah, look, indeed. And then Gozor, those are in the Indiegogo campaigns. They have a perk that you can also, get the black and white edition as well, and it really pops way more. It's absolutely gorgeous. And Xenotype is more like a manga-esque. And there is also a color version. I don't like the color version of that book at all. Black and white is perfect for that book. So I agree with David here. Yeah. Is that cool? Okay. Let's wrap it up, guys. Like I said, well, hey, thanks for coming and sharing your time with us. And I hope you see you next time for maybe a next stream. So if you want to come up and hop on the stream with us as well, you're welcome. And to everyone who watches, David, Matt, and we have also a female that I forgot. I'm sorry, Tatsunami. Thank you, and all of the people who are watching us now. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Have a great evening. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.